Yo, what's up, guys? You got your boy Nandre. Welcome to another video. So as you can see from the deck roulette, today's game is going to be on neutral sword. Well, I say neutral sword, but it's really more of just Saha sword. I say specifically Saha sword because as you can see, I'm not playing like any of the traditional like neutral based stuff that you would normally see. Like for example, like the closest thing is that I have like 2 council card knights, but I literally only have these because I have an animated one. Anyway, getting onto the game itself. So they were so I played like 3 or 4 games of this deck. It was pretty interesting is what I'll say. but the game particularly I'm going to show you it's just one game. It's a game versus control blood. So this game is the reason why I decided to record this game is because like it's one of the longest games I've ever played, and it was actually so silly. Because recently, well, I say recently, but like for a while now, like a lot of people have been telling me, oh, control doesn't exist in this game. You can't play control, like you can't be successful with control. Like I've never once thought that's true, and even now I still don't think that's true. Like you can be successful on literally anything if you put enough time and effort, as long as it's not like hyper meme. Like, but I'll go ahead and talk about that in a different video. Anyway, so I keep the Goblin Mage. I kept the Goblin Mage just because I wanted to have a 3-drop, and the Goblin Mage can find me the Maisie, which is good because I'm going second. The entire time I was just like, okay, well he's aggro blood, right? Like, why would he not be aggro blood? I pick up 1 Maisie, and that's kind of decent. I really don't want to play it on 2. Like, I want to have it later in the game, but here when he plays with the Bathman, I now have to worry that, oh, he might be control. But I'm still gonna play with the Maisie anyway, just because like there are a lot of things I want to evolve. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to evolve all 3 Maisies this game. That's fine. Here when he plays with the Pirate Singer, I'm still pretty sure he's control, especially when he trades, because you would never trade as aggro. Well, sorry, you would never the average ladder play would never trade. So here I go ahead and play out the God Mage. I play out the God Mage as opposed to the Grimmer because like if he is control, then I want the word for later. Here in place with the Fang Serpent, the Fang Serpent thus confirms my fears, and he is in fact control. That makes me kind of sad. So this turn I'm gonna go ahead and Geno. The Geno is good, but it's not great because I just used the Maisie, and if he plays out Scarlet Sab here, I'm gonna be very, very sad. Instead he plays out Blood Moon. I'm like, okay. He plays out a Vampiric Kiss. That's still annoying, but that's fine. This turn, I pick up the Barbarossa. Barbarossa, aka Bob Ross, is about to go in for me this game. So I'll go ahead and play it out here. And I really, really like it here because like he can't actually deal with it. But this turn he goes Full Moon. Or sorry, he goes Mr. Full Moon, puts it to 1. So the good thing about this is that like, if you don't know, with stat modifications in this game, like if the card goes back to your hand, or yeah, the card for whatever reason comes back to your hand, like say it gets bounced or whatever, it will keep its original stats, which is very, very nice for me because it basically means that his Mr. Full Moon is useless. As a result, because I know this, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna like overextend or anything like that. Well, I'm not gonna overextend more than I need to or want to. So the main thing for me here is to try to force me in a spot where you either have to use a lot of revelations early, in which case you won't have them later, in which case you need to invest like bigger creatures. And just try to get them that way. So this turn I'll just go ahead and use Council of Card Knights. I'm not going to either this because he's a control deck, I'm a control deck. If you don't know, Blood has a lot of healing. I mean a lot of healing and a lot of sustain tools. So like I already know this game's gonna go on for a while. Like so I'm not gonna try to like do anything like fancy or anything like that. He plays with the Revelation into the Baphomet. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So here this turn I started to get a little bit greedy. The Barbarossa comes back in my hand. He's like 8 mana. I go ahead and I choose to use the Council Card Knights here. I choose to use it here just because like it gets to kill a Baphomet. That's the only reason why I decided to play it right here. Like otherwise the Goblin Mage into Unica into 2-drop would have been a lot cleaner. But here he goes Emerelda. I'm like, okay, he still doesn't want to use Evo. That's fine by me. I don't care. I'll go ahead and play out Bob Ross here. Bob Ross goes and kills off the Emerelda, who didn't get to hit me in the face, which is important. Because a big part of control blood's damage is using the Emereldas to hit you in the face. Like it literally has to be the Emerelda, the Temptress, or the Spawn if they have it. Here he plays another Blood Moon. I'm like, okay. Like, unfortunately for him, like he's playing out all these creatures that like all these creatures really mean nothing to me because I'll just go ahead and suicide Bob Ross each and every time. However, unfortunately this turn I'm forced to overextend a little bit because like I don't have all the cards I would like to have. So I can't afford to just be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna overdraw. A big thing, and I mean a big thing, about playing with cards like say Bob Ross as well as Ouroboros is knowing how long you can afford to keep playing them, like before you start like overdrawing significant cards. Because like there are certain cards that I don't want to overdraw, because like again this game is going to go on for a while, like because it's going to go on for a while. I know that this is the turn where I have to go ahead and sacrifice an Evo, and that's fine. Like I use it one Evo here, he maybe has to use another Revelation. If he does that, that's fine. I don't care. So this turn, I believe I go ahead and hold off on playing. Hold off on playing like hold off on playing any other like major cards. I play the Grimnir as opposed to the Unica, just because like I really don't want these Emerald. I really don't want any possible Emerald to hit me in the face. If he wanted to use Revelation there, I would have been fine with that. That just means, okay, well, this gives me a free Bob Ross. Bob Ross comes out, makes your life hell because you got to clear it again, and then, you know, yeah. But here, he has a Dia Drain. I'm like, oh, okay, so you get the good face anyway. Alright. Yep. That's fine. This gives me a nice clean Bob Ross. It's very good. Painting some happy trees over here. So this Bob Ross has been this barbarossa has been summoned, I think, 4 times now. I'll go ahead and play out the Unica here as well. The Unica puts out a little bit extra pressure on him. He plays another Scarlet Sab to stop me from healing, and that's good. Like I want to force him to play cards, so this way I can also play cards and just keep using Bob Ross to just like she literally just like solo all of these really annoying creatures that ordinarily would be a very big problem for me. Like Emerelda, Scarlet, those are all big problems for me, and now I've gotten rid of 2 of them. Like 2 of them for a card that I just keep getting back anyway. So here he goes and he hits me in the face with Temptress, and I get kind of scared. So this is gonna be a turn where I need to heal. I don't mind giving him another Evo, just because like I know that there's a strong chance that he could do something like say Emerelda here into Temptress and I would die. So yeah. Now to be fair, if he wanted to, you could in fact just say, okay, you go ahead and you hit me for that damage there. You go ahead and you make that happen. You show me the damages, and then like when they overextend, you then go ahead and heal, and then they can't kill you. But I don't want to take that chance. So here, I go and play out the Israfel. Now, you might be asking, why did you play out the Israfel as opposed to playing out the Lucifer? The Lucifer meant they could have played out the Unica as well. However, I like playing out the Israfel here because, like, I know that most likely I really don't want my last Evo to go to this, Israfel most likely. And the Israfel is, like, in the Dragon version of this particular matchup, keeping the Israfel in the hand is a lot better, just because, like, it can hit bigger things. But when you're playing this with sword, because I have the barbarossa, this is it's a lot easier for me to just like throw this away as opposed to like playing other things. I also specifically play out this because like I want him to know that I can kill him. Like if he goes like say Massive Black Death, I want him to know that I can pop the mask or whatever, and still hit him in the face for quite a bit. Additionally, he's already used a lot of his power cards to get rid of most of my boards, so I really wanted him to be forced to go Bahamut here. He goes Bahamut, I Bahamut him back. If he doesn't have second Bahamut, he's probably in a rough spot. He'll have to actually give me an Evo, because this is like turn like 12 or something like that, and he still doesn't give me an Evo, but that's fine. Well, turn 14. Because this gives me yet another Bob Ross if I wanted it. However, instead, because I know I'm about to overdraw soon, I'll go ahead and choose to use the Luminous Mage instead. Now you could in fact use the Bob Ross if you wanted to, but I preferred this one as opposed to the other one. But here he has the Fenrir. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I wasn't expecting Fenrir at all. I mean, it's really cool tech. I just wasn't expecting it. But this is fine. This turn I just get to go Bob Ross into Unica. And here, he plays out Maelstrom Serpents. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. So Maelstrom Serpents is a card that's actually really cool. I like it a lot just because like if you hard cast it, as you see now without Vengeance, it's still a 10/10 across 2 bodies that are both very medium sized. Like in that like they cross the 4 HP threshold. Like once you cross the 4 HP threshold, you get pretty hard to clear with just like anyone like a removal spell, and that's big. Because it means that now, like if I wasn't Saha package, one of these, one and or both of these to stick, and I would have to use up my last Evo. Now granted, don't get me wrong, I still have to use up my last Evo, but I'm clearing both of these this turn. Now I bet you he's probably expecting me to either go Bahamut here or to use my Albert and use the Evo, but I don't have to do that. Instead, I will use the Saha Quill. I use the Saha Quill here because, like, in the event where something like this happens again in the future, in which I have to use like multiple Evos, or sorry, which I have to use an Evo, I want it to be that I use the Evo with the, or sorry, I want it to be that's like the Albert or whatever, because Albert works just fine as a removal tool with or without the Evos. And this is another big thing. Look at the current card counts. Now, because the Barbossa was like 5 or 6 cards, maybe say 7 cards, I think. It's gotten me a lot of additional value, and it's meant that I had to play less cards than him. Like he's had to draw quite a few cards this game in order to like keep doing what he's doing or whatever. Like so he's 2 cards ahead of me in fatigue. This deck the only draw that this deck has is Goblin Mage and Staircase, and as you can see from my hand, like I don't need to play cards. I will never need to play cards this entire game, just because I have the Barbarossa. He does not. He already used 1 Odin, so I'm not expecting him to have a second one. Now he might, but I'm not expecting a second one. So here, I finally get an Evo from him on like turn 18. Turn 16, I'm sorry. Now here I'll just go whole soul swing, and now this is the really cool part, because like this is the point of the game where I've actually managed to hardcast a Barbarossa without needing it to trade, because I've been able to whittle his like resources down, and that's very big. Like it's a sign of like a turning point in this game, because like slowly but surely I'm exhausting each and every one of his removals, and this is a good part for me to be at right now. However, finally, Bob Ross gets banished. Goodbye, Bob Ross. We will miss you. Yeah. But that's fine. Like, Bob Ross has already more than done this job, because like it gave me, I think it ate two Scarlet Sabreurs as well as an Emerelda, so it's already eliminated 3 out of 6 of the cards that would like be like disastrous for me, and also got finally and also helped me get one of his Evos. But here he goes out Double Fang Serpent. He doesn't feel the need to evolve me. I wouldn't feel the need to evolve either. But Grimnir 1/1/1/1/1. I have full clear his board. He heals up to 19, but then goes right on back down to 16, and now I have 4 creatures in play. Now the big thing about this is that, like, because it's control, I don't really care when I kill you. I just care that at some point I'm going to kill you. Now the other big thing is that, like, as you can see, like, I haven't been just like straight like dirtling or whatever and doing nothing. Like I've been slowly working towards building an advantage. Like now he's in a very tight situation, because like as you can see, I've only drawn, I think, maybe say twice with the Goblin Mages, and that was like it. And I'm still 2 cards ahead of him or sorry, 2 cards behind him in fatigue, which is very big, because like now if he wants to gain more resources, he has to draw. If you draw, you put yourself on more and more of a timer to end the game before you die to fatigue. Now the other big thing about this is that I have the board now, so now he has to give me his last Evo. Like he's already used, I believe, all 3 Emereldas. So now if he has to use an Emerelda, now if he has to clear a board, he has to use removal spell. He's also used 2 Revelations as well. Like so now his options are further and further limited. And if he ever plays a spawn, I just go ahead and play out the Bahamut. Like, but here he used out the Revelation. Like, okay, that's fine. So now this turn, I'll just go ahead and hard cast the Geno. I play the Geno as opposed to the Lucifer, because there's still a chance that I might need to heal, because like he still has 13 cards left. But that's quite a few cards. And I still have the Saha Quill with the Lucifer play as well, which is very good. The Geno is also nice, because the Geno basically ignores one of his removal spells, and he has to have an AoE on top of the Geno. Like, so for example, if he had, say, Hungering Horde into Blood Hungering Matriarch, that'd be very good. That'd be 2 very good cards to have. However, as we can see from his hand size, like he has to basically play whatever he draws off the top each and every turn. So his options for making like complicated like setups or combos, they're significantly limited. So I know that there's no possible way that I can like actually play around this Geno without having to play out a 3rd Odin. If you have a 3rd Odin, you're a madman. But that's fine. So again, I just need to apply some pressure each and every turn. Not, like, doesn't have to be that much, but it has to be something. He plays that Pure Heart Singer, and as you can see, like he's starting to draw cards because he has to. He's the Pure Heart Singer there. That's fine. Because now I can force him to draw even more cards. Now, if I want to, I can also draw myself, and I think that's gonna be the choice that I make here. So I go ahead and I trade. I go ahead and play out the Albert here. I play out the Albert specifically because like he has to either give me his last Evo, which is what I want, or he has to go ahead and drop a Baja. But I'm also going to play up the Staircase. Thankfully for me, my opponent is now finally 4 cards ahead of me in Fatigue, which means that now I can afford to draw 3 cards and still be fine because I'll still be 1 card behind him in Fatigue. So now he's in a very, very awkward spot because now a Baja is bad on 2 different access points. It's bad in the sense of, oh, well if you do it and you if you do it and then like it doesn't like stick or whatever, you're in a bad spot. But here we see him make a very I want to say interesting play. He chooses to burn me in the face for 5. I definitely think I would have just killed the Albert instead and not use my last Evo there, just because your Evos are very, very important, because like that's the only advantage you still have over me is that you have Evos and I do not. So we'll go ahead and Evo here. Like again, like the 5 face damage doesn't even matter. Like at this point, I don't think. Like because you need a lot if you want to kill me. Like a lot. Alright, so here I go ahead and use Saha. I use Saha here. I misplay slightly. I go ahead and I sacrifice the Lucifer. That was just straight just misplay on my part, because like in my mind, I thought he just killed the Albert without using his last Evo. You can go ahead and hold on to the Bahamut, or you can go ahead and like show the Bahamut if you want. But I kind of want to hold. I kind of want to like not show that part, because like there's a chance that he might think that I don't have like Bahamut in this deck, but who knows. Anyway, I go ahead and I kill off his Temptress. I go ahead and hit him in the face for 2. Again, he might be at a high health total, but like now he's having difficulty drawing cards. He plays that Righteous Double as well as Fenrir. And the Fenrir is actually really, really good here because it means I have to draw a removal spell in order to be fine. I mean, I draw the removal spell. Otherwise I would have had to Bahamut. But instead I get to go face. So the good thing about this is that like he probably wants to clear this board because he's tired of like all these shenanigans that I've been like hitting him with. However, if he clears now, I draw my 3 cards. If I draw my 3 cards, I guarantee you I can find something to play that'll go ahead and annoy the crap out of you. Like so it's a very, very awkward position for him to be in, because like he, as we can see from his deck, like his deck is really just built to like control all these things, and like if you can't control them, like then eventually your deck doesn't like do anything. Like granted, I do have some dead cards in my hand, but that's fine, because like I guarantee you he has more dead cards, because like his deck's not doing anything. Here we see him play up the Emerelda for tempo. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so as you can see, like, clearly he's under a lot of pressure. So here this turn, because he did that, after he's able to just hard cast a Lucifer, I just now get to say deal with it. I choose to hold on to the Unica just because right now he has creatures in play, and I already know he wants to make these trades anyway. So instead he Mr. Full Moons me, and then hits me for 6. But in reality, he only really hit me for 2. The reason why is because the Lucifer is always going to heal me, and now we're in a very, very interesting spot, because now he's out of cards in hand. He has 6 cards left in deck. Thankfully, again, I'm exactly 1 card behind him in Fatigue. So if the game goes like this, I'm going to win. Now we know that he most likely has Bahamut, and we can safely infer that even if he plays the Bahamut, all I have to do is just counter Bahamut, and that'll be perfectly fine. I don't have to be afraid about anything right now. The only thing I have to be afraid about is if he has Spawn. Spawn is the only card that changes anything, and even then, as long as I can heal for enough, I'll be fine. However, if he has the spawns here, like he has to have exactly like Spawn, Bahamut, in order for me to die here. But because he was playing Blood Moons, we can probably safely infer that that he definitely still has Belphegors somewhere in that deck as well. So the Belphegors are essentially blanks, because if he plays them, he just draws faster into Fatigue. That's not what he wants. He wants to be able to win this game. So here, I'm just going to go ahead, and I have two different ways I can clear. I can go ahead and go Saha for Bahamut, go ahead and show the Bahamut here. I don't mind showing the Bahamut here, because, like, what is he going to do about it? Like, there's nothing he can do about it. So I'll go ahead and do that. However, I could also go ahead and go Albert instead, but I don't like going for the Albert play, because the Albert can only clear 1 thing, Instead, I want to put into play two different things he has to clear. As long as I keep the Lucifer alive, he literally can't kill me. So. The other good thing about the Saha Quill is now the Saha Quill frees me to play the Unica, so now I add in one more must-kill threat. This is why I held off on using the Unica last turn and instead used it for this turn, because I already knew he was gonna want to clear off whatever 2-drop I played. But now he definitely has to do it, but he can only do so much. Like, even if he has one like Revolution here, he can't clear everything, and so yeah, like he just loses. Like there's really nothing you can do. So the big part about this game is one of those things that I always talk about, is that, like, even if you tech for a matchup, you still need. Sorry, even if you tech for a matchup, I mean like tech hard for a matchup, you still need to play the matchup well in order to be able to do anything, and you still need to like not get outplayed. For this game, like my opponent got like outplayed because like the barbarossa was just so good. Like honestly, the mistake he made was like not playing out something that wouldn't die. Is not playing something that would like die easily. Like, so for example, if he had like played out, if he had like held onto his Mr. Full Moon and just like used that for tempo at like a later point in the game, that would have traded in the Bob Ross into that, and then he'd be able to safely banish the Odin, and that would have made the game like be a lot harder for me to win. However, he doesn't do that. He just kind of, you know, like, oh, I can play this card, I have to play this card, and that's not how control works. Control is about, like, you know, playing things when you need to, like, and understanding like how best to play around whatever it is that your opponent is doing to you. Like, I really like playing that particular game, just because like it was pretty funny to me, because like a lot of times, as you can see from my list, like I usually don't tech for control or anything like that. Like I usually just like tech towards like aggro, and a lot of people ask me like, well, how do you like win all these games versus like control or whatever? Like, for example, like I actually beat quite a few dragon mirrors. Like I have like maybe like a 60% win rate in dragon mirrors. Like, and people are like, well, how do you win this? It's just like, well, I have pretty good like reasoning skills and like deduction. Like, that's really all it comes down to. Just, you know, playing well and just doing what you can when you can. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, go and leave a like. Go and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you guys for watching.